Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, they obviously go over all the rules and they know what the rule set is for their given bout.
But when you're in there fighting, man, sometimes all that goes out the window, man. Especially once your guy starts pressuring you.
Oh, big overhand right from Brock Waldie. Big head kick, wobbles Anjelo. I said Brock Waldie is all gas, no brakes, and he comes out with a thunderous overhand followed up by a high kick. Gets a standing 8. Angelo's still here.
Yeah, we've seen Brock Waldie, man, and that Combatagon in several different cities. Orlando, Jacksonville, man. Win, lose, or draw, man, he always comes to bring it.
Okay, see, he caught the leg and let go last time. Now he's been given a warning by the official, Isaiah Cabal. You cannot throw a technique while you're holding the leg.
Yep, no, you just got to catch it and let it go. Angelo needs to, you know, circle. Don't just back up into the cage. Especially this being one of our bigger cages here because we've got the pro and amateur fights on tonight. He needs to utilize all that space, making sure that he's circling away from Brock Waldie's power. He needs to just continue to pop that jab and circle to his right. And when he throws those kicks, he needs to put a little bit more heat on those kicks. That way, Brock doesn't able to catch those kicks. If he's just throwing those kicks, you know, about 50, 70%, that's why Brock is able to catch it and just walk through it.
And he's throwing them naked.
Exactly.
So
you need to set it up.
the whole wind-up setup. He's done a good job of recovering from those first 2 big strikes he ate at the beginning. And there he was with the clinch like
yeah, like I mentioned before, when he comes with that, you know, the thing on his head, like, you know, he in there, he might throw accidental elbow, a knee, or a clinch, but this is just straight up kickboxing.
Heavy hands from Brock Waldie.
See, there we go. Isaiah Cabal has to break it up again. No clinching. This is just strictly, you know, American kickboxing.
Brock really loading up.
And Brock also, too, does MMA. So imagine if this was one of our Little Gloves bouts. He would have been knocked Angelo out.
Yeah. So it's the little things that these guys have to remember. And, you know, once you're in the fire, like you said, you start to resort to your training techniques.
Exactly.
And I'm certain that he's, you know, at Jack's Muay Thai, he's over there clinching in his training all the time. And so we saw a little bit more there towards the end of the round. But, man, Brock is just coming out with them heavy hitters.
Yeah, it seems like definitely Angelo, his game plan is, you know, establish the kicks often and early, but he needs to set up with just punches. Even if the punches don't land, you still need to give your opponent something to think about, something to worry about. And I think that's what his corners over here saying. I just saw them just mimic, you know, a jab and then a teep, it looked like, or a kick. But before he throws those kicks, like you mentioned, hands first. Even if he feints the hands a couple times before those kicks. But if you just coming at a dude like Brock Waldie who just charges forwards, man, he don't care. He'll take one to give you 5 back.
So I had some conversation with the officials in, you know, what we're looking for is effective striking. And effective doesn't necessarily mean leaving a cut or knocking someone down. It means if it influences the flow of the fight. So if somebody is hitting that lead leg and it causes them to switch stance, that's
exactly,
affected the fight.
You got to hold a good poker face. Because that's one of the worst things you can do. If somebody's, you know, teeing up your leg and just switch your stance, like, yeah, in your head, you'd be like, okay, you know what, this leg is hurting so bad, I can't take anymore. But no, that's just going to make your opponent target that leg even more because they know they're doing damage.
You know, Brock's catching those kicks on the arm, but that hurts too.
Yeah. But see how Angelo, he's just backing up. He needs to circle more. He needs to have a little bit more cage awareness. 2 steps now, circle to your right. See, he takes 2, 3, 4, 5 steps right back into the cage. But he's firing the back, though. He's still hanging in there with Brock.
A couple of good body shots there from Brock. Man, Brock has some heavy hands. I can't say it enough. I just hear those punches thudding. Yeah, that perfect execution of that. Angelo was spamming those body kicks, and Brock was countering every single time. Body went up top, got the knockdown. Great read on that. And I was just thinking, I couldn't get it out, that he keeps letting Angelo throw these naked kicks.
Exactly. Angelo needs to circle, man. Because enough of those punches, man, just like we started knockdown, if 2 knockdowns in a fight, man, Isaiah Cabal might just call this thing. 10 seconds left.
Hey, Angelo was putting in work on that left side of Brock Waldie's body. Nice front kick to the face, and
Brock
right
has a
back.
couple kicks of his own.
Brock is really winding up on those punches, and it's not like Angelo can't see them coming.
Yeah, like he's opening up his whole right side to throw that power shot. If Angelo can time it, you know, he could
beat him to the punch.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit him with a quick jab when he sees that wind up coming.
And that right there, like we saw in the very first fight with the two gentlemen there with Quentin, man, he was down in those first two fights, but in the third and final round, man, he got a knockdown, you know, with his strikes, and then was able to, you know, end out there with a draw instead of a loss. So there's still hope, even though Angelo has, you know, lost these first 2 rounds. There's still hope for him.
Yeah, Angelo showing an incredible amount of toughness. Third and final round coming up.
But I need to see a little bit more volume and movement there out of Angelo, especially down 2 rounds to none. There's no room, no more time to play, you know, nice and calm and time your strikes. You need to tuck that chin and circle. There you go, right here. This is what wants to be in the center of this combatagon. And now the volume is sort of like, you know, died down a little bit for Brock. Like we mentioned before, man, take enough kicks to those arms. There's going to need a little bit of time to recuperate, to charge up those turbo bazookas he got there and those cannons of arms. And this is where Angelo needs to take advantage. Right here, 5 seconds, not a single strike was thrown by Brock. That's where Angelo needs to take advantage of it. Throw some strikes of his own. Get Brock's back up against the cage.
Angelo's had a little bit of success with that front kick, sneaking it up in there and tapping Brock on the chin. And I'm thinking now, you know, with these big looping punches that Brock's been throwing, if he'll straighten those out.
And I think that's what his corner was saying after the last round there. "30 seconds left." See that right there? Just naked kicks thrown by both of these gentlemen here. Just feint the jab. Get the person's hands up before you kick. Brock is not feinting anything. Every time he loads up, he's throwing.
Last few seconds. Brock letting them fly. Slip. That's a slip. 3 rounds in the book, so it'll go to the judges' scorecards. Great fight from these guys. Good, clean fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have reached a decision, a unanimous decision at that, for your winner. Out of the blue corner, Brock Waldie.